What is up, everyone? Welcome to Draw and Talk. We made another comic. It's funded. We're gonna have a great stream tonight. We're gonna have a silly goose time. Tonight, guys, it's gonna be a good stream. Like it's scheduled, like it says, the title is, I leveled up making comics when I started doing this. And I think the answer is gonna both like piss people off, but also be almost like a duh. But you think it's a duh, but it's not a duh. So, yeah. You sound buzzy, Tyler, in your audio. Let's let me check, cause yeah, we don't want that. We do not want that. Guys, a lot of crazy Kickstarters today, man. Did you guys see Common America, dude? I clicked on that. 5 minutes later, they were at like 40K. It was crazy, crazy. All right, let me pull up the stream. Let me listen. That's awful. Let's see. Guys, a lot of crazy Kickstarters today, man. Did you guys see Common America? I clicked on that. Ew, the audio's so bad. Let's switch this out real quick. Don't do this to me. Check. Let's get out of that. Okay, let's see. Do this. See, is this better? I think this is better now. I hate that, man. I hate when that happens. But thank you guys. Thank you guys for letting me know. All right, perfect. All right, let's get the show on the road. Let's say yeah, guys, like so I was gonna launch my book today at 12 p.m. Eastern. And let me just tell him, this is my boss. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah, so like I had always planned to launch my book today at 12 p.m. Eastern. And so then as I'm driving home from work yesterday, I get an email from Iconic Comics, and they're like, launching tomorrow, and I just went, fuck. Because like, guys, like Tim Lim, Mark Pellegrini, friends of the channel, friends of mine, freaking great humans. But they're way out of my league. And so I'm like, okay, so we're launching the same day. And here's the thing, I don't believe that like us launching on the same day is gonna hurt me. I don't think that. But I'm like, okay, I see this as an opportunity, because after you back a campaign, it'll say other campaigns like this. Or people are already on the site, you know? So in my head, I'm like, okay, Tim and Mark are going to bring in so many people to Kickstarter today. Let me launch 10 minutes earlier. So if by random circumstance, people back Common America, maybe I'll be at the bottom and like, you also might like this. And, you know, maybe they back. I don't know. That was my thinking. But yeah, no. And so I launched mine, went to the bathroom, and was like, oh, I need to go back, Common America. So I run over literally 5 minutes after they launched. They're already at 40K. And I was like, holy crap. And they freaking deserve it. Like, they're coming out with killer products. Like, I finally budged and bought, the capybara. You know, I already have, the bunny, the Black Ops bunny, USGI. So I'm like, let me get the capybara. You know, they're perfect examples of like creators who, you know, put in the hard work and they did things their way. And that's actually the most important part. That's kind of like, you know, going into the theme of this show is they figured out a way that works for them. And because they're leaning into it, it's working. And they're having a great time. Like literally any time that Tim and I talk, whether it's over Facebook or sometimes just like on the phone, like sometimes we'll have phone calls. Like, we never talk about business. We're always just talking about like, we're just shooting the shit. And it's because like they're just having fun and they're like, listen, we're having fun, we're working hard, and we're having a silly goose time. And so however, this is what I want to say. What works for them isn't going to work for me. What works for them isn't going to work for you. And that's something that's important. It's like what other creators are doing isn't necessarily going to work for you all the time. And you know, as I've gone through making comics, I've learned this. And that's how, and the moment I stopped thinking, okay, how are other creators doing it? Should I copy them? That's when I started seeing more success on my side. And that's when I felt like I started leveling up more. So before we get into the topic for tonight, let's acknowledge the chat. Let's do some quick shilling, and then we're going to get into this. How are you sexy people doing tonight? Real quick. There's the link to the Kickstarter. Let's see. We got Ichthus here. What is up? Total excellence. Stopping by to say congrats. Thank you so much. We got Massive Panda in the house. We have Cry Wolf. What up? We have Stacy Gardner. Yo. Chris Davis, is the buzz in my headphones? Oh, yeah, no, my bad. Let's see. Yeah, most practically, we got Juke Joint. We got my boy Justin Ori. How you doing, man? How you doing? I bought the Common America action figure. God help me. One simply cannot deny Badger a spot on their shelf. In all seriousness, if you just work on your stuff at your own pace, you'd be amazed how many folks come out to support you. Massive. I'm so behind on Common America. I'm pretty sure I've missed their last 4 campaigns. Gotta get caught up at some point. And then, yeah, Digital's for Omnibus 1 and 2. Yeah, that's like going to be the best way, honestly, is to catch up via the omnibuses. Let's see. I'm glad that's all working. Let's see. Guys, OBS is still sometimes like a freaking mystery to me, but we're working on it. So, guys, this is where we're at so far. My Sexy Witch Academia #1 and 2, a magical NSFW story. I will say this, guys. My artist is always like, yo, dude, we got to put more NSFW in it. And I'm like, I know. I always forget about that stuff because it's always like an afterthought for me. And so, but he's the one, like, honestly, if it wasn't for Tommy, I would have forgotten to do all the sexy stuff that, you know, I promised in the story called My Sexy Witch Academia. So literally thank Tommy for everything. But yeah, let's get into this real quick. Sorry, shouldn't be drinking soda. My Sexy Witch Academia #2 continues with the story of Harriet Pope. a student at Raven's Academy who has a dark secret. She's the most powerful witch in the world. Harriet has been tasked alongside Professor Aiden to find the Chaos Shards of the Dark Lord and to destroy them. How unfortunately the power of the shards are starting to manifest throughout the school and trouble is being stirred. Harriet will need to both defend the school from the dark powers of the Chaos Shards while also keeping her secret around her new friends, Chloe and Ray. This fun comic is both funny, action-packed, and sexy 40-page comics. I gotta fix that whole sentence. It's not good. But yeah, like the interior pages by Tommy are freaking fantastic. I mean, this is this is literally the page 2 and 3, the double page spread. So like this is like, oh, here, I'll show you real quick. So this is page 1. And we're getting some flashbacks. This is the Dark Lord. We don't name him. And we see these are Harriet's parents, and it's insinuated that he's killed them, and she just unleashes just her like crazy power, and we see Aiden here. So this is a flashback, and this event is called The Day That Went Dark, and it's a big event that affected the entire magical and real world. And no one knows. Everyone knows about the day that went dark, that like there was like this crazy explosion of power that destroyed all these things, but no one knows in the world what caused it. And so we as the readers know, at this point in time that, Harriet caused something, but we don't know what it is, and we'll find that out. Here's the naughtiest. This is the naughtiest scene in the whole freaking comic. The rest of the nudity is just the girls talking in like their bras or topless. There was one more actually at the very end, but this is the most naughty. Ray. She's trying to get some extra credit with one of the professors. Here's Professor Aiden, and he was just talking with someone, and I won't say who. And yes, Massive Panda. There is the naughty comic add-on as well. The Sugar and Spice Everything Nice Chapter 2. You can get Chapter 1 as well. There's only 10 copies left. I don't know how many of them have been snagged, but then there's the Chapter 2, and this is just a 6-page, basically, sex scene. We also have the acrylic stand. I think this might be the best acrylic standee I've ever done. It's all because of Tommy and his fantastic art. So like, I'm super excited to get these. And the keychain, we did the keychain last time and they sold really well. And it's a very nice keychain. Like I have one on my keys. Like I like it. As well with the add-ons, you can get my entire library on here, guys. My Life is RPG, My Sexy Witch #1. You can get a variant, which, by the way, the variant is going to be the same for everyone now because someone literally on my online store today went and cleared out of all my variants. So there's literally only one variant left, and basically that's what everyone's going to get, which is actually good because it's actually a very rare one. It's the Camille waifu one. You can get Super Plumber Scissors 1 and 2. You can get Bullet Assassin on this campaign. Girl with the Mega Fist, volumes 1, 2, and 3. You can get the Cthulhu Murders. This is just the paperback. I need to do an inventory on the hardbacks. I just got these in literally today. So I need to, send those out to backers. There's like 2 backers that just didn't get their hardcovers. I gotta get it. But the paperback is available for $15. And then, we have Entity and the Demons Omnibus, and then we have our digital bundles. Digital bundle gives you Growth Mega Fist volumes 1, 2, and 3, Super Plumber Sisters 1 and 2, Bullet Assassin 1, and the Cthulhu Murders 1. So that's a lot of good stuff. And we have more interior pages. If you guys didn't know, by the way, like this is last campaign we did a Draw Me in tier to become a professor, and what they didn't know is that like the professors in the story we're gonna be there for a really long time. Like they're part of the story. And so this is one of our subscribers to our channels. I'm not going to out him if he doesn't want it. And then we also have Neostar, who's also a professor. And he's the one who teaches us, the reader, and the characters the power system of the world. So yeah, and then these are the covers. And after this, we're going to get into the topic. But, My Sexy Witch Academia, cover A, like I said, this is my favorite cover in the whole freaking world. This will be the volume 1 cover or omnibus. Right now, I was talking to Tommy. He's like, hey, like I might have some other projects next year. And now we're trying to figure out, okay, this was planned to be 12. Do we move it to 6? I did have a contingency plan if we did that. So we're just working it out. But no matter what, this will be one of the covers. Cover B, this is from No Peas. Man, I commissioned this last year, and I finally get to use it. But beautiful cover by No Peas. Cover C is drawn by yours truly and colored by my colorist Rufaya. Greg Bo Watson and Gwendol, this is their cover. Fantastic job, dude. I waited like a year for this. A year. And then, we have a sexy variant. Which is actually funny because I only paid for this. And then they said, hey, do you want us to do this? And I went, yeah, sure. You're going to charge me extra? And they're like, no. I went, all right, I'll take it. And then this is Camille Waifu. I have been sitting on this cover as well for a year. This is Camille Waifu. And then, we have a naughty variant. But yeah, so this is the campaign. We're at 156 sexy backers. We've already hit 5,000. What's crazy is with, understanding the data is so crucial to things. With My Sexy Witch Academia, this series, everyone jumps in on the digital, and then I sell less physicals. That's just something I knew. With Super Plumber Sisters, though, more people buy the physicals than the digitals. And then Girl with the Megafist, more people, and it's kind of like half and half. But this so My Sexy Witch Academia is a very heavily digital comic that people snag, whereas Super Plumber Sisters, I can really rely on the physical sales. So what I'm trying to say is everything's going to plan. Everything looks great. I'm very grateful for everyone who's back so far. I think this is going to be a fantastic campaign, and the line art is already completed. I just have to gray tone it, and man, I gray toned 10 pages the other day. It was so quick. Some books, like when I do Super Plumber Sisters, it takes me a long time to gray tone each page. With Bold Assassin, it took me a while as well, but I think with My Sexy Witch Academia, because of all the blacks that Tommy uses for the series, it's a lot easier. I don't know, but I'm liking it. Calvin Gulata. I like your logo, by the way. Good Charlotte. Is that a Good Charlotte reference? If that's not a Good Charlotte reference, I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure that's a Good Charlotte reference. Finally caught another live stream. Heck yeah. Let's see. I got the naughty or nice add-on last time. I said, what the hell? It's $5. Talking about cleaning house. Travis Gibb leveled up is my show. I'm coming in, man. I'm back in the Discord. I'm ready to fight. Cover A is a great image for the standard edition. I love it. Yeah, I love that. I love that one, man. Glad to hear that all is going according to what is up, my ninja? I backed everything today. Can't wait. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I hope that you enjoy the catalog that I have. Speaking of gray toning, I love the chill draw streams. I hope you fire up more chill streams in the future. I will. I absolutely will. I absolutely will. We'll be doing a lot. Yeah. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's get personal. So the idea for this stream came actually this morning when I was on my way to work, and I was like, I'm not feeling listening to music. And I was like, okay, let me see if any, and most comic book streams are super boring, so I don't watch any of them. I couldn't find a podcast that I hadn't already listened to that I wanted to, so I was literally most of the time I go to listen to is Hot Ones episode with Shia LaBeouf. I freaking love that interview, or Zac Efron, but I was like, I'm not in the mood for this either. So what should I freaking listen to? And so what I did was, instead what I did was, I was like, okay, I saw Larry from Niobe stream last night, so I was like, let me just watch these. I normally don't watch them, but I did last night. Welcome, Trickster. How you doing? Let us know what you're about. And I was actually shocked. I don't think it was planned, but I was shocked that I was a point of the conversation for I think the first 30 or 40 minutes. Someone in his chat, I don't know if it was like I saw Massive in there. I was driving, so I couldn't like look at the chat. I think it was Dice. Like someone something Dice, and they were like they were commenting on my show that I did with the founder of Global Comics, Chris, which by the way, that's a fantastic stream. If you haven't watched it yet, go do it, where we talked about digital comics. But anyways, so somehow like digital comics and like me became like the focus of the stream for like 30 or 40 minutes until they like eventually went to like X-Men and some other stuff. So because of that, I was listening to it and I was like, oh, and I'm not here to bash Larry, because Larry is his own creator. But it made me think, like listening to what they were saying, it made me go like, oh, like, I've really changed how I view comics, making comics, the community, and just things over time. And, I've done things that have been both immature. I've done things preemptively. One of the things that they talked about was, I canceled my book Chefs. And, a big contention of that is, one, I have always said that I lost the love for that series during that campaign. And it was for a lot of reasons. I felt strained because I was doing a 60-page comic because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. I saw like what Common America was doing, and they're like, oh, they're doing like 60-page comics. I should do the same thing. So I was like, let me copy that. But like, that's not how I like to write stories. I like very long form stories. I don't like to write in like very short, like 60 pages. So I was trying to do something that I just don't have a skill set to do. So like, I was like, oh, I hate this chef story. I hated it. And then I was like, and then I hated the outline, and then I started getting into like more digital stuff. And, as like my job at my company that I was working for at the time, we were getting into more digital. I was doing digital marketing, and I'm like, why am I not doing it like this? I started getting into webtoons, and basically everything that like was happening in the outside life started going into Chefs. And I just fell out of love with the series and how it was being created in its format. And I was like, if I complete this Kickstarter, which I had funded in 3 hours, and I was like, if I complete this Kickstarter and take people's money, I will have to fulfill this book. And it ends on a cliffhanger. I will feel obligated to be stuck and married to this series. And it's something that I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. And so I felt like the best way was to kill the Kickstarter and not take anyone's money. And that's what I did. And, Josh on Larry's stream said that, he didn't like that, left a bad taste in his mouth, which is, 100%. I understand that. Another point of contention was, that during this time I was talking with Larry, and, I at one point I did say, like, I really hope that this hits 10K. And if it doesn't, I think I'm going to cancel it. And I did say that. And that wasn't the reason I ended up canceling it, but I did say that. And, that's very immature thinking. And I have said this in the past that like that is very immature to think like, oh, like if I don't hit 10K, I'm going to quit this. But at the time when I said that, I was working on various projects at my job where I'm like, if it doesn't hit this ROI like at this time span, take it off. Like, don't even do it. And so I was trying to apply those principles to books. And so, yeah, like that was very immature thinking, like, oh, if I don't hit 10K, then this project is ass, and click out of it. And so like, that's something that's very immature, and, something that, I don't really believe in anymore. I mean, like, look at my Cthulhu Murders. It barely broke 4K. I didn't cancel it. We kept on going because it's a story that I actually liked and I wanted to do. And so like, yeah, it didn't hit 10K, but it's a story that I actually wanted to do. So, with Chefs, I don't want to do it. And to prove to you guys that I don't want to do Chefs, because I ended up completing the book. You can buy it on my website. Like, is I still have people saying like, oh, I miss Chefs, bring it back. So what I did was I hired a new artist to make a new Chef story. and I showcased the art to people and I got color and it looks awesome. And everyone is like, dude, this is sick. This is it. And once we finished those 60 pages, I went, I hate this story. I don't want to do another one. I don't want to do this series. And so now I'm literally sitting on 60 pages, a 60-page chef's graphic novel that I paid an artist to do out of pocket. It's just sitting there. And I don't want to release it because I don't want to do it, because I don't want to give people the expectations that I'm going to do more of this series. Because at the end of the book, it leaves off on a cliffhanger. And I don't want to do any more of this series. And here's the thing, the characters are awesome. The characters are sick and everything. But the problem is I did the same thing that I didn't learn from my mistakes. I created a new chef's book with a 60-page format with a condensed story, and I don't like those 60-page condensed stories. Like, as in like how I write them. I'm just not good at them. And so, yeah, I really just don't like that series, Chefs. But I did it because I thought that's what people would want me to do. I did 60-page contained graphic novel stories because I thought that's what people wanted to see. That's what people wanted. That's what the Call America guys were doing. That's what's working. That's what Red Rooster did really well. That's what he's doing. Graveyard Shift, from John Malin. Like, they were doing all these condensed stories, and I was like, that's what works. And it wasn't working for me. Can we not release it as a one shot? Let's see. Hold on. Why is this not working? Let's see. Uh-oh. Why is this not working? There we go. Can we not release it as a one shot so that people know what to expect going in? Here's the thing. I just don't want to do it. And so, but what I found was this, is I like episodic stories. I like long episodic stories. And so I was like, you know what I'm going to do? And I was reading Rags, by Brian Ball and Luigi Terrell. And I was like, man, like I would count the pages. I'm like, okay, this issue's 20 pages. Okay, we should do 20-page issues. Next one was 37. I'm like, oh, that's a freaking weird number. Okay. Next one's 26. I remember messaging Brian. I'm like, dude, why are you doing it? This is weird. He goes, because I don't give a fuck. And I was like, wow, these guys are having more fun than I am. They're just telling stories the way that they want. And so it was at that moment that I went, okay, I am going to tell stories the way I want. And so I came up with The Growth of Megafist. And I was like, I'm going to do this in the episodic story. And at first I was like, okay, it's just going to be like 20 pages or 15 pages this episode. And then I was like, you know what? And then I was like, okay, minimum 12. I was like, you know what? If the episode's 8, I'm going to do 8. And if the next one's 12, I'm going to do 12. If the next one's 32 pages, the next one's going to be 32 pages. Because I'm not going to be living by any of these freaking rules. So I started doing that. And man, Growth of Megafist Volume 1 was so easy to make. One, it helped that my kid was sleeping all night and he was an angel. Fantastic. Volume 2. Also a breeze to make. At the same time as well, I was getting into digital. So like I had a Patreon. I was like, you can read a new episode of The Growth of Megafist every 2 weeks on my Patreon. And I was making around like $500 a month doing this. And I was like, this is awesome. And then what happened is, when I was time to do the Kickstarter for Volume 1, and then I started making YouTube videos on like just animes and mangas I was reading. I was very like away from what the indie comics people were doing. But when I started doing the Kickstarter, people were like, yo, you gotta start doing live streams again. You gotta start like mingling with indie people. And when I started doing that, that's when everything that like all the shields I had created of like, I'm gonna do things my way started breaking. And I started like re-allowing other people's opinions into my life, which then, I started doubting what I was doing on Patreon. So then I stopped working on it. And that, now it's very low because I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it like this. Because other people are saying I shouldn't. And I should just, I need to do this. And so it just wasn't. And so even though Girl with the Megafist was doing well every volume, I wasn't growing the way that I wanted or I initially set out. My goal for comics, has always changed, not how to get to the goal has always been changing, but the goal that I've had has been, I want to make comics and not ever have to be reliant on anyone else, whether that is another creator promoting me or having a publisher pick me up or having to be in a store in order to get eyes. Because I don't believe that you need any of those three. And by the way, success means different things to other people. For me, it's purely just monetary. Like I don't need any awards. I don't need any accolades. I don't need fame. I don't need to be on the front of a magazine. I don't even need to be in like this like top 10 books that inspire the world. Like if you read my book, enjoy it, and then eventually it gets thrown into a bin. To me that's fine as long as you like enjoyed it. So like my success has never been predicated on that, and I never wanted it to be predicated on what other people did for me, on what a publisher could do for me, or what a store or anything. Like I wanted it all to be me, which is why I believe so heavily in digital marketing. And that's what I do, by the way, as my career. So when people are like, oh, he thinks like it's like, I do that for my career. Obviously I believe that digital marketing can be a success. And the thing is like, there are so many people who are already successful doing these kind of digital comics. And I know a lot of people like, Larry or Josh, and, that crew and others, even others like, older generation people, they don't believe it's possible, but I can list off like 10, 20, 50, 100 creators who are successful doing this. And they're not going the route of stores, publishers, etc. Maybe down the road, they eventually do that. But I've seen a ton that are successful without it. And to me, I'm like, oh, like, can I figure out a way to do that? And during this time, I was like, okay, like I kind of lost my way. So I stopped thinking, I stopped the way I was. So even though I'd fixed how I was making comics, I still started going the route of like, oh, this is how everyone does it. Another problem that people have, I think, is like the stories that they do make. And I was always told, like, you don't make sexy comics. You don't like how, or like you don't have like anything like that kind of stuff. And here's the thing, like, but that was like all the animes and shows that I enjoyed. Like, guys, I really liked My Dress Up Darling. I thought it was fantastic. I liked that kind of stuff. My Little Witch Academia, I really enjoyed that. Licorice Recoil, my favorite anime of all time. Like all the anime that I was enjoying had like female protagonists and stuff. And like, that's what I enjoyed. And so I was like, and I was always told, like, oh, you're not going to be taken serious as a creator, blah, blah, blah. You do that. And I realized, well, that's because you think that I have this goal to work for Marvel, DC, or Dark Horse, or with a publisher, blah, blah. And I'm like, that's not my goal. My goal is just to make stories that I want in an audience that likes my stories. And I went, oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to make the stories that I want. And that's how I came up with My Sexy Witch Academia. I literally came up with that in a week. I came up with My Sexy Witch Academia in a week, and I had the Kickstarter up and running 2 weeks later. And it did like 15,000. And I was very, very excited about it. And then I was like, and I love, you know what I love? I love anime girls, and I love parodies. I love parodies. Guys, if you think that have you seen parodies, you haven't seen parodies, do you guys? The stuff that I am coming out in July and next year, parodies galore. So I'm like, I'm going to do some more. I'm going to do some parodies. Super Plumber Sisters, has some parody in it. I really enjoyed that. And then I was like, you know what? I want to try doing I really love noir. I love noir comics, like crime noir comics, like Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, like that's what where is it? Oh, I'm freaking hiding it, but like that whole third row, like that's just their books. So I was like, let me try to do my own. So I came up with the Cthulhu Murders, and I had a great time making it. And then we did Bullet Assassin. I had a great time making that book. It's, you know, it's an isekai. And so like now I'm at this point where I'm like, okay, I now have learned to accept how to make the comics my way, and to make the comics, you know, make the ones that I actually enjoy making. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my series Demons. I love my series Demons a lot, but there's just that was my very first series I made with another artist, and I wrote that series while I was in South Africa. But like, even though the main character Ace Carter is the main character, I always wanted to do more stories with his partner, Agent Chloe Waters, and my plan was to like kill the main character and have her be the main character. But the publisher I was with at the time was like, no, like, you need to keep him as the main character. That's what we signed up on. I was like, oh, frick, like, this guy's controlling my life. Like, get me out of here. And then with my series Entity, I had Camille as my main character. But I had other people going like, oh no, you got to market the lead, the dude Aaron, have him do all the cool stuff. And so even though Camille was the main character, all the cool stuff was done by Aaron, and it was because the creators I was with at the time, I was workshopping. They're like, this is what you got to do. And so now that I'm making comics how I want and the way I want, the next step is, okay, now how do I distribute them? And that's the question that I've been, you know, that's the thing that I'm always trying to learn. I'm always trying to learn, always trying to figure out. And I think what's crazy is that a lot of people, like, this is a journey. Like, I'm very much like experimenting. I'm not trying to find the next big thing to go viral. I'm just trying to find different ways to be creative, to get my comics in front of people. And I don't know why it pisses off people, like Larry or Josh or any of them. Like, maybe not pissed, but just, I don't know why they care so much. You know, I don't know if it's their lack of understanding of the internet. It might be. Maybe they haven't seen the examples of people that have done it. Like, let me tell you something. So I've had the Draw and Talk channel for like 7 years. I see all the indie comic channels. That's all I see. And no offense, no one's really innovating. So I have a new channel, and I don't follow any of the usual suspects, the people in the space. And man, the comic channels that like aren't in our sphere are awesome. Like, they're freaking awesome. The creators are awesome. They're coming out with awesome stories, and no one on Twitter talks about them in our sphere. No one here in this chat. I recognize most of you. I've never seen any of you guys like or retweet any of these people. And so it makes me go, there is a whole specter of comics that is either known and no one in our community is doing anything about it, or it's just like they do know it and they just don't want to. And so with that being said, like, for me, like, that's a route I want to go. Like for some people, they're like super anti-digital, and that is 100% okay. If that's how you want to do your business, if that's how you want to do it, do it. But as for me, I want to figure out how these other people are doing it. And here's the thing: a lot of people go, "Oh, Tyler is trying to come up with new ways." Guys, I'm not trying to come up with new ways. These ways that I'm seeing other people doing it, there's other people doing them. So I'm like, oh, let me just try and copy them, and then I can learn. You learn, you innovate once you copy. You got to copy, you figure it out, and then you go, okay, this is a system. Here's a system. This is how you do it. This is how I think I can do it better. This is now how my way. That's how you innovate. And so, yeah, I'm seeing a lot of other creators that none of us know. They're not on crowdfunding. They're not on Kickstarter, Indiegogo. They're not on Global Comics. They're not on any of the things that we know. And they're putting out awesome comics, and they have big communities, big Patreons, big email lists. And to me, I'm like, that's the kind of stuff that I like. Those are the things that I resonate with. I don't resonate with stuff over here. I'm going to resonate with those. So, like, let me learn from them and how to do it. Every creator needs to go on this journey of figuring out what works for them. And it's okay if what works for me doesn't work for you. And it's okay. It's okay if someone wants to try out new things. It's okay. I don't know why there's so much hubbub about people wanting to try out different things. Like I don't get it. I don't get it. Gated community vibes. Yeah, maybe. I watched a guy who is new to manga go, man, it's so refreshing to review stuff. I actually like, instead of stuff I'm forced to, I wish I could find the guys you're talking about. Seriously, Vincent, make a brand new channel and just like, I don't know how I started finding these guys. But start making a new channel and don't watch a single channel that you've already been familiar with. And just like, they'll find you. The algorithm's very good. It'll find you. The most freeing mindset ever is screw it. I do what I want. 100%. 100%. I think someone has got to something has got to give with Western comics. You can't keep everything the same, but expect different results. That's the thing. Like as well, the people who are telling me oh, like digital isn't a thing, no one's going to get successful with digital, they also believe that comics, that their way of making comics and making money off comics is dying. Like, they already believe that the ship that they're on is sinking and burning. And so in my mind, I'm like, then I'm going to go find a different ship. Why? And I don't know why people get mad. I don't know why people get mad that I want to find a different ship. And you know what? I have found that different ship. I found other people doing shit. And I'm like, oh, like these people are already doing it. So I'm going to see like what I can do, because that's the stuff that resonates with me. Is it bad that I want to build an audience before I pull the trigger and launch my Kickstarter? No, it's not bad. I will say this, that you can build you can build an audience strictly via Kickstarter with your project. So I don't know. And since it's indie, there's nothing for people to really complain about. Well, you'd be surprised. Yeah, Alois here. I don't know any of those people. People don't. Like, a lot of creators don't know any of these people, but they're killing it. Innovation via imitation, implementation. Exactly. I still think Demons is underrated. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. So I watched a video of your boy Zach today, and it was about how Kickstarter doesn't work without parasocial relationships. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. Congrats on the strong start, Tyler. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have you ever read Black Sad? It's noir, but also furry. I've seen it. I've watched Little Witch Academia like 4 times, and I hate Ursula more every time, that magic stealing bitch. Cute anime girls run the world. Yeah, I do love some cute anime girls. I always loved the model that was done for Ava's Demon and a lot of the other popular webcomics, but it put it out online first, build a following and hype around it, and then put out a badass hardcover. I agree. The reason why that people, the creators who don't like that model are writers, because they go, the creators who don't like the digital first model are writers. And the reason why is because they're only thinking about money. Because, and to be fair, like, I understand why, is because for them, they have to pay for the art, and they're like, great, I've got to pay for all these free comics and I might get a return on it. So I get it. I get that there is risk to it, which is why a lot of them don't do it, which is why I can see why they would be hesitant. Like, you know, for Larry, for example, Larry can't do this digital model. He has to focus on the money because he has to pay artists to do this. He has to pay a team of artists, and to give it out for free would be, like, in his mind, crazy, because he doesn't because it's such a risk. And so I get that. So it's always writers who are like, I don't like these ideas, I don't like this digital first, because they can't really play in the playground. This works great for writer-artist combos. People like me who can write and draw stories. Like, that's why, that's why I'm so passionate, because I'm like, oh, I can draw a comic and put it out and grow a following, and then eventually, yeah, like how Ava's Demon does it, and how many, you know, like in the top 10 Kickstarters a year, Leanne Krekic, who does Let's Play, whenever she puts out a volume, she's typically in like the top 10, because hers are like in the $300,000 to $400,000. Like she's at Brian Pulido level in terms of what, you know, when she does Kickstarters. And she puts out every page of this book for free. She has thousands of people who follow her on Patreon. And so like people are reading her free comic, and then they're backing her on Patreon, and then they're buying the physical book, and it just trickles down. You know, you're obviously going to have more people reading the book than you are getting your Patreon, and you're going to have way less people buying your book than you are reading the book. But here's the thing, if you cast a wide enough net, when you get to the book part, it's going to be huge. So it's like, yeah, she has 1 million people. She has 1 million people, you know, reading the book for free. But when she does a book on Kickstarter and she sells like 4,000 to 5,000 copies and makes like, you know, $400,000, it's like, yeah, that was, you know, it's worth it. Plus, you know, those million, you know, she can get ad revenue on the million, you know, and whatnot. What streaming software are you using? I'm using OBS. With NBA teams inevitably go through a forced rebuild phase when their team gets old. Teams who don't do this usually stagnate and stay bad for years. Comics need to go into rebuild mode. Got Delicate Art here in the chat, guys. The point of indie is an unconventional way of doing a project, so why the hell would we be abiding by a standard? And that's the thing, is like everyone has what their own standard is, and I don't like it when people try to apply their standard onto others. Because, you know, I've put out a tweet, and I'll say it here, like, comics are like sports. Like, you can play sports, but there's different games within sports. And a lot of people, you know, creators might think, oh, we're all playing football. It's like, well, I'm playing baseball. So we've got different rules and everything. But we're all in sports. We're all in comics. Yeah, we're all in different games, though. Poor Jamal in the house. How you doing, man? I think a lot of people can relate to this tale you're telling, by the way, even if it's not in the same field. I appreciate that. Jose, I like how they did stay silent webcomics to crowdfunder, but yeah, most of these cases are writers/artists. Exactly. I mean, that's why, I mean, that like writers, like the only writer that I know who's doing this like successfully is someone like Merriweather Comics. And he took a risk. Galvin, Galata, dude, you need to confirm if your logo is a GC reference, Good Charlotte reference. Writer, release my comic digitally first on my site to build an audience for my upcoming campaign. It is indeed a huge risk and a lot of money. However, I'm confident the reward will be worth it. There you go. There we go. Wow, risk taker. Massive. If we're going to embrace digital, we'll have to be super fast on production and upload schedules, especially since we have AI art to compete with these days. I just don't see it any other way. Here's the thing. It's nothing to do with being fast on production or upload schedules. It's just consistency. Like, that's what I'm learning, guys. Like, you don't need to have an issue a week, a chapter a week, 10 or 20 pages a week. You just need to be consistent with the promise you are to your audience. So if you tell people, hey, I'm putting out a page a week, or a page a day, or 4 pages a week, or 5 pages a week, or 20 pages a week, you just have to set the tone. This is what I'm doing every week. This is what you're getting. And then keep your promise. That's what I have learned in the digital comic sphere. It's nothing to do with page count or quantity. It's just the promise and consistency. While Let's Play and Ava's Demon's success is awesome, there's way more people who put out comics and webtoons who don't earn anything after doing them. And so a lot of people say that, though. Like, I agree, by the way. My problem, though, is this. That can be said about everyone on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. That can be said about anyone who does anything. There's always going to be like a shit ton of people who don't make it, and then the people who make it it shrinks smaller and smaller and smaller. Like, I think it like 80% of people who make a comic on Kickstarter that is successful that project won't break 10K. It'll stay like 9,999. So like when you do a Kickstarter campaign, you have I think a 65% chance of getting it being successful. And then out of that 65% of people who are successful, 80% of the people who are successful will be in the $1,000 to $9,000 range. So like most campaigns will never break 10K. Most campaigns will never hit 50K. Most campaigns will never hit 100K. And like 2 people have ever hit 1 million. So like obviously there is going to be people like there's obviously going to be a lot of losers. People who lose. You know, if I put out my thing for free, when I put out my shit on Webtoons, like no one read it. No one read Chefs, no one read The Growth of Megafist, no one read Demons. I did get like 500 subscribers on the hardline, which was crazy. People did like that. But yeah, like that's just how it is. Like that is the risk to reward. And you like, if you do become a loser, you either pivot, change it, or restart or give up. And if I put out something and it's a lose, then I'm going to go, okay, like then I'm going to try something else. Tyler, do you feel like Kickstarter is less of a risk than Webtoons? I personally think so, but it just depends on the project. They're completely different audiences, and it depends on what you mean by risk. It depends, like, are you trying to make money? Like, there's a lot more different factors. I think it's a little different. I think most people who go onto Webtoons, their goal is to amass a very big digital audience, whereas I think people on Kickstarter, they're like, okay, I'm trying to make some money right now. That's true. You have all the big web comics that have been around and built massive followings, but the market is absolutely flooded, and creators are getting lost and unseen in the crowd now. Exactly. So now, and that's with everyone. Like, there's more and more people jumping on a Kickstarter. There's more and more people getting into crowdfunding and indie comics. So it's like, how do you stand out? And that's the question that every creator is gonna have to figure out. Calvin, it's not a reference. I literally told the artist that made my logo do CG in a Victoria Baroque font. Okay, that's hilarious. So if you look up Good Charlotte, literally like GC, they have like the same font. It's a little different though. I thought that was cool. I don't think AI art can compete with artists. AI cannot do panels by panel things. I mean, they can. It just looks like crap right now. I'm always late to these things. Eloise, what's the status of Megafist? Megafist last chapter is going to be finished either this week or next week. And then after that, we just do gray tone the pages. That should take me like 2-3 weeks, and then we're done. And then Bullet Assassin is finished, going to the printer this week. Yeah. Everyone, but here's the other thing. Everyone's different. Some people like look at like someone like Pat Shand. He's doing like 3 or 4 Kickstarters a month. And that's like what's working for him, and he's enjoying it. I personally wouldn't enjoy it. Like that's not like the route that I want to go, even though he's making stupid money. He's making stupid money. He's making a lot of money. It's just not the route I want to go, nor is it the type of books that I'd want to make. So we have to figure out, okay, what kind of book what kind of stories do I want to make? How do I want to make them? The format, and what's the best way to distribute? And sometimes maybe Kickstarter isn't the best way. Maybe Indiegogo isn't the best way. Maybe Webtoons isn't the best way. So you have to figure out what is the best way. How do I make it happen? Calvin, gotta hop off work early tomorrow. Thank you for the input. I truly do appreciate your thoughts, and I'm happy to see your continued success. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here, by the way. I'm really looking forward to getting my copies of Megafist 4 and Bullet Assassin. I'm excited to get my copies of both of those too. I'm excited to get those too. With webcomics, it seems like, oh, I'll get it. I'll get there. With webcomics, it seems like one of the biggest factors is figuring out the platform that best fits the work you make based on the platform's audience. 100%. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know how true this is anymore, but I talked with the director of marketing at Webtoons, at least in the California area, that sector, to do like some collabs with them. And I was like, hey, can I ask you a question? Like, how does like Canvas work? And she's like, oh, there's like 4 girls who read the Canvas stories, and they're the ones who choose to promote. So it's like, okay, if your comic doesn't vibe with these girls, like you're not getting promoted and stuff. Here we go. Strange Planet. I just want to know a very successful webcomic comic? You guys want to see a very successful book? Strange Planet. You guys have seen these. You guys have seen these. You know, this guy puts out 4-panel stories on Instagram. I found this. Great. It's vibrating. That means it's working. What does it excel at? Scratching. Also hiding an ideal companion. So, like, this guy puts out a comic like this. 4 panels. You know, maybe once a week, maybe every day, or maybe every couple days. I don't know. And then he puts it out all for free. Builds a community around it, you know. And then he puts out a physical book. A New York Times bestseller. Guys, to become a New York Times bestseller, you have to have like 50,000 pre-orders. So he's a New York Times bestseller. Now, guys, I'm not saying, oh, this is what I'm going to get. No, absolutely not. But what I'm saying is this is an example of someone who did it. This is an example of someone who did a digital comic, who gave it away for free, built an audience, didn't need the help of anyone. And then, you know, he could have put out this book. Let's see who it's published by. Because he could have Morrow Gift. All right, let's find out who this is. Okay, so it's HarperCollins. It's HarperCollins. Okay. But he could have, like, if it was me, because everyone has different mindsets, but if it was me, I would have personally, like, not gone with the Kickstarter and just self-published this myself. Everyone is a New York Times bestseller these days. It's because there's a way that you can beat the system to become a New York Times bestseller. You have to have a lot of money to do it, and if the publisher can get it to you, if they can. It just depends. Like when Obama's book becomes like New York Times bestseller, or like Hillary Clinton, or like a celebrity, they bought those. They bought that badge essentially. But this is an example. So he went with the publisher. He could have self-published it and put it on Amazon. I mean, this guy has millions. Like, he would have sold just fine had he did this on his own. But he chose to do it with the publisher. And with the publisher, you're able to get accolades like New York Times bestseller, Goodreads Choice Award winner. Like, with the publisher, you can get things like, an animated series. Geez, on Apple TV, that's cool. So, like, there's perks with working with publishers. There's perks with doing it with yourself. It just depends on your level of success that you want and how you deem it. But the point is, this is an example of someone who put it out for free and then turn it into a physical. Like, it's not like an either or. You can do both. Same with Let's Play. Puts it out for free, then puts out a physical. She's done, millions of dollars on this book. Do I need to show you guys other examples? Solo Leveling. This was a light novel. Then they turned it into a free webtoon that anyone could read for free. You can still, to this day, go and read it for free on Webtoon. Then they turn it into a physical comic where they put the Webtoon pages right there. This sells a ton. And then they turn it into an anime. This kind of success can't happen again. No, look, Lore Olympus, like the number one webtoon, like in the West. Once again, 5 million subscribers. She has 5 million subscribers on Webtoons. Billions of views. Then they create this beautiful hardcover. And then I should be showing you guys. I'll show you guys the pages. Now, I'm not saying that this is the best, looking one, but, that cover is nice. My point is, look, and then they turn it into a physical. But guess what? You can go read every freaking chapter for free. That one's also a New York Times bestseller. Rachel Smith is currently the poster child of what you can do because there are like she originally like Laura Olympus was a Canvas creator. She put out like 10 to 20 episodes of Laura Olympus on Canvas for free, and then Webtoons Originals was like, hey, we'll invest with you, you just need to make the book in color and then we'll pay you to do it. And then she did it, and then it went huge. You know, her Patreon was at like $20,000 a month. And she turned it off because she said she was too busy with all the other ventures with Laura Olympus, the merch, and the Netflix deal. And I'm like, man, I would like, what would I like? How much money would I have to? How successful would I have to be on the side to turn off a $20,000 a month Patreon? Like that's bonkers to me. And the Laura Olympus lady can't even draw hands. There are no rules. Dang, I don't know if I'd turn that Patreon off. I definitely wouldn't. Supposedly Laura Olympus is what caused a lot of things to change the rules. Absolutely. We don't know if it's exactly, but here's the thing, man. If I was Webtoons, and this is what, and people got so mad at me about this, and you know, they all fuck off. If I was Webtoons and I saw the success was that Rachel Smith was having off my platform, and I'm like thinking to myself, so I bankrolled this girl. I helped market her series to get like to as popular as it is. And now she gets a book deal and I'm not getting any of that money. And now she's doing a Netflix deal and I'm not getting any of that money. Yeah, I'm going to want to try to find a way to put that in the contract that I get some money out of that. My daughter's baseball team plays my son's baseball team tomorrow, and I coach them both. Oh. There you go. Did you hear about the Webtoon contracts? Yeah. Wait, did Rachel Smith ever finish the story? Like, actually finish the whole story? Did she leave it out in a cliffhanger or something like that? Is she still... Yeah, no, she's still actively working on it. That's steak dinners. It really does help, though, if you were one of the webcomic people who started uploading 10 plus years ago. Much easier to build a following back then. Clownfish TV has talked about this at length. But here's the thing. Like, I still even think that Clownfish TV... Like, I still think that those guys still have a very old mindset. Here's the, so here's this guy right here. This name is Brandon Chen. And he used to be, he was in business. He said he had a really boring job. And then right before COVID, he was like, my dream is to be a writer. And so he gets on he makes a TikTok, and he's like, you know what? I have a dream. He says, I have a dream to make my own manga and webtoons, and then to eventually get my own anime. And so he starts, working very slowly and whatnot. Now this dude, Brandon's doing very well. So like on Instagram, he has and I guess he started this like 3 or 4 years ago at this point. Okay, maybe like 5 years ago. I forgot, like 2019. Dude, man, I'm getting old. He doesn't have his TikTok. But he's got I think he's got 1 million followers on TikTok. He started this 4 years ago. 4 years ago, he just, every single day it's uploading, giving advice, but, basically saying, I want to do a manga. Now these are all of his series. Just a Goblin, Double Kill, Gemma, Samurai No Go, Bandit King, God Game, Mad Gate. So, Nora, Icarus Rising, what else? Angel Wings is a new one he's working on. So he has all of these comics that he's working on. These two, just Bandit King, God Game, and I think Mad Gate are now like an anime is being worked on. And an anime is being worked on. So this guy, like his God Game, let's see if we can find a link. Here we go. Let's go. Brandon Chen. My website. Let's find God Game. Okay. It's on Voice Me. Look at that. God Game. 15 million views. So 15 million views, 50,000 subscribers. How many episodes he has? Putting out an episode a week. This is now getting optioned for an anime. God Game. Look at that. So this is a digital first book. And guess what he can do, guys? Later on, he can turn this into a physical comic. It's just, to me, it's just caveman thinking. I mean, last night I heard that like comics are books. Books are held in your hand. I'm like, gosh, like just freaking dinosaur thinking. Like movies, like I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Used to be the only way to get an anime made was to know Will Smith be his son. Oh my stars. Yeah, there's so many examples of people doing this well, and there's more that I could show. I don't want to. My point in this though is like everyone's got to figure out what works for them, what makes them happy. How Mason makes his comics isn't going to be the way that I want to make my comics. The way that Chad makes his comics isn't going to be the way that I want to make my comics. The way that Caden makes his comics isn't going to be the way that I want to make my comics. As well, like the success that one has might not be the way that I want to have success. What site was hosting God Kings? It's called voice.me. I'll put it in the chat. Even let's look at, pretty sure Brandon Chen has connections since he sat on the stage at Comic-Con. Well, no, it's not that he has connections. It's that he's worked for his success. Like, you don't have to have connections. You just have to prove that you're successful. When you have 1 million followers on TikTok, people are going to go, yeah, we should get this guy because he's tapping into a younger audience. He knows stuff. I followed him before he had any of his success. I followed him when he was living with his mom and whatnot. And he barely could get, he could barely get like a 5-page like manga made. And then he won a manga award. And then now now look at him. He's working for Tapas, Webtoons. He's paid to make comics for a living now. He's did it in 4 years. He's younger than probably all of us. You know what he did? Digital first. I'm trying to look at new ways to publish comics, not to be closed-minded. Good for you, Chad. This is why I like you. I mean, here's the thing. A lot of people are going to try to emulate others, not realizing all the pieces that make it. So, for example, let's look at Common America. People are going to look at Common America and go, I want this. They're doing fantastic, guys. They're doing absolutely fantastic. But people are going to go, I want this. To do this, though, you have to do this in the way that they've done it. If you were to emulate it 100%, you need to make 60 to 70 page like graphic novels that have kind of like a, that tell a complete story in there, but also, they have a sock and whatnot. And then you also have to have, be prepared to do like a mini comic on the side. And whatnot. So the question is like, is that how you want to roll? Because here's the thing, I can look at this and go, yeah, I like that, but I personally don't enjoy telling stories in the 60 to 72 page format. They're good at it. They're fantastic at it. I'm not good at it. And it's something that I'm not good at and I don't enjoy doing. So like, yeah, this is cool, but I can't do it the way that they do it. Therefore, I need to find a way to do it in a way that works for me. That works for me. Let's look at Pat Shan. We got Wild Wisps, number 1. I think he launched this 2 days ago. Like Pat Shan, he's putting out literally like 3 or 4 comics a month. That's not something that I personally want to do. in the way that he's doing them. But it's working for him, and he's doing a freaking fantastic job at it. And he has to manage all these people. He has all of these employees. And I'm like, that is so cool for him. I personally can't do it. Kat right here is one of the she is very successful in the Kickstarter space. Literally nothing she's very successful. Literally, there is not one of her comics that I would ever want to make and read. But she does it very well. Because, I don't want to make this kind of book. She does it very well. She's killing it. She is doing a very good job. But that's what works for her. It's not what works for me. I don't want to do any of this kind of stuff. I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. I don't want to tell those kind of stories, and I don't want to run my business the way that they do. But it's working for them. I heard from a reliable source that only being on shelves matters. No, that's completely false. I don't know. Anyone who believes that, I don't know, that's some old people thinking. No. I know plenty of indie authors in the self-publishing space who are rolling in $1 million to $2 million in revenue a year. Strictly doing self-publishing. Their book is not on the shelves, and in fact, no movie deals, no agents, strictly self-publishing, no accolades. No one will ever know who these people are, and they're like, I don't care if no one knows. If they're like, I don't care if millions of people don't know who I am. I only care about the people who buy my book. That's all that matters to me. If I can keep writing and making books, and people are buying them, that's all that matters to me. And this person, this gal. And she lives in the next town over. She's like, I make $1.7 million. Who cares if I'm not on a bookshelf? Who cares if I'm not getting movie deals? My success is that I get to write books and that people buy them. She's doing great for herself. Nothing she touches is good. She's killing it though. So yeah, I leveled up making comics when I started doing this. I started making the comics that I wanted, and I started doing things the way that I wanted. And here's the thing, but maybe I fail. That's okay. Maybe things don't work out. Maybe I try all these things in 3 to 4 years, and then I burn out, or maybe I just don't do comics anymore. Maybe none of my ideas work. Maybe this new thing that I'm planning on doing in June and July, maybe it all fails. I don't know. Or maybe I keep doing it and I'm having fun, and maybe 3 to 4 years, something catches on and it works. I don't know. Who knows? But right now in my life, my goal currently now in my life, for the last 8 years, it's been, I want to make comics for a living. And then when I lost my job last year, it was, okay, I need to make comics in order to live. And now in my current situation, I have a very good job. I have a ton of responsibilities at this place. Now it's, okay, now this is just a hobby for me. I just want to have fun. So if things crash and burn, let's say I don't make any more money on the books that I hire artists to do, and I can't pay them to do anymore, and I have to cancel those series, then yeah, I do. Then that's what happens. I'm a writer artist. I can make comics till the day I die for $0, and that is going to be perfectly fine for me because I have a day job that already pays for everything. So in my mindset, if this is a hobby, let's have fun. Let me try something. Let me try a new thing. Let me put something out and see if it works or doesn't. Let me just have fun. That's where I'm at right now. That might not work for someone. Maybe someone's like, I need this to pay my bills. So yeah, they're going to have to play a different game than I am. But for me and what I'm doing, I'm just here to have fun. And that's what these streams are going to be, on this channel, just draw streams. Literally, we're gonna just do. These are mostly gonna be just draw streams on this channel these days, because I'm building out this new channel that's gonna be hosting some really fun content, And, you know, maybe on this channel I'll showcase like me working on that content, because it's all comics related. So maybe this is like, you know, the behind the scenes channel. The point is like, I'm just trying to have fun, man. Like, I'm not trying to get 100 viewers, 200 viewers. I'm not trying to get 100,000 subscribers on this channel anymore. The goal at this point is make comics, have fun, put them out, get them to people, and see what happens. You know, maybe I put out content on this new channel and it gets 0 views. Maybe I put content on like comic, like, cause they're comics. Maybe I put comics in this new channel. No one watches them. No one reads them, and it fails. Maybe. Doesn't matter. Who cares? Who cares? Maybe they do 1,000 views. Maybe they do 10,000 views. Maybe they do 100,000 views. Maybe they do 1 million views. Who knows? The question always comes down to, at this point, am I having fun? And I think that's something that you should, that, you know, I'm not saying you should, but maybe it's good advice. Maybe, I don't know. But maybe ask yourself, are you having fun with this? Because to me, if you're not having fun with it, I don't know if it's worth it. Like, I don't know if it's worth the headache and the stress. Tyler, what happens when I hunt you down and find your new secret channel? You can't hide from it. It's only secret right now because I don't want. It's only secret right now because I don't want. I don't want my current subscribers to go there, like and then like it'll ruin like the algorithm. I want, so like for example, like I made a new channel last year to do an experiment, and I didn't tell anyone what it was, and I posted videos on there, and I got to like 100,000 views. In like a month. I'm doing YouTube shorts, and I was like, oh, I did that on this channel and only got like 1,000 views, but I did 100,000 on this other channel. I didn't tell anyone because I let the YouTube algorithm find the right people that wanted that content. So for this new channel, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not gonna tell anyone for a while, and then eventually, you know, I'll be like, hey guys, this is where the new channel is, you know, because, you know, you want the right people. The thing with digital comics and online is you need the right people to see your stuff. And if the wrong people are seeing your stuff and they're not clicking on it, then the platforms are going to be like, no one wants this, and hide it. So I need to let the algorithm do its thing to find the right people. Eric Grant's in the house. How you doing, Eric? I thought that was you for a second. I was like, oh, look at that jawline. But you know, Massive, I will tell you, I'll like some people, I'll be like, hey, this is what it is. I'll tell you. When you find out like what that channel is, it won't be surprising. People go, oh yeah, that makes freaking sense. And I have a plan for it. Like, oh no, where's my piece of paper? Like, this is my plan for it. Like, I have a whole roadmap of how it connects with everything that I'm planning on doing. And I'm excited for it. I'm just like, that's the stuff that makes me happy. Like, I love building out new things. I love starting them. I love finding out new ways to do things. For example, like at my current job, I'm tasked with like creating like 3 or 4 different businesses, and, you know, handling their marketing and building teams around them, and, you know, getting their revenues going. And that shit like excites me. Like, it excites me to like try new things and learn and try to implement them. And so I'm like, well, you know, why can't I just do that with comics? So like that plan right there, like that's going to be it. So, okay, guys, we've been going on for a while. I didn't plan on streaming this long. I'm very sorry, guys. Real quick, if you guys didn't know, by the way, here's my website. I need to do more of these, by the way. Let's talk. I just got done organizing the indie section shelf. Not the bottom one, but the next one. That's all indie comics, and then the shelf right here is just indie comics. So I'm like, oh, I've got to start reviewing some of these and putting them on my website. And then you know, this is where you can, guys, like, I don't know, I don't like promote the site very much, but I should. Like, here's the physical comics that you can get, the digital comics that you can get. Like, look at that, Girl with Megafist, $2. Masked, the Mask, $0. The Hardline, $1. RPG, $1. You know, and then I have them all separated, like The Girl with the Mega Fist, Volumes 1, Volume 1, 2. This is sold out. I was like, this shouldn't be here. It's sold out. But you can get the DD Mark variant. My Sexy Witch Academia. Someone cleared me out of all my variants, so this is what we got. Super Plumber Sisters. I need to add more of the variants right here. Yeah. And then, you know, we got My Sexy Witch Academia. I don't know if we got any backers tonight. Probably did. I think everyone who's backed it tonight has already done it. Oh, we got one backer, so we'll take that. We'll take that. Thank you very much. But check out the Kickstarter. We have 25 days to go now. It is rated M for mature. All my books, by the way, this is what their backings look like. So I have like a rating on all of them. So like The Girl with the Mega Fist. So like the Cthulhu Murders has their, you know, that's a rated M book, but Girl with the Mega Fist, rated teen. Rated teen. Demons. By the way, guys, this is a thick one. Demons, 370 pages. Let's do some ASMR. We're running out of thumb. So but yeah, let me know, guys. Like digital PDF $7, digital deluxe $9. But then, you know, the physicals start at $10 and we're shipping for $5. I think that's pretty reasonable on Kickstarter, honestly, for a 40-page book. You guys let me know, like, if this is something you're into. I think the art looks phenomenal. I think Tommy and I, we work really, really, really well together. I think this was the best collab right here. It was me, Tommy, and Bia Navarro for this cover. Like I came up with the outline, so like I thumbnailed every aspect of this cover, and then Tommy drew the characters and just, you know, did them perfect. And then after that, I came in with the backgrounds, and then Bia Navarro, such a stellar colorist, comes in with her colors. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the color palette that I asked for, and I'm glad that she chose not to, because it looks better. It looks way better. Like everything about this cover looks way better than what I asked her to do. Because I always say, like, hey, listen, do what you gotta do, but hey, you gotta do it better. Tyler, are you going to take advantage of Kickstarter's new on-demand feature for your campaigns from now on? Well, it's not rolled out to everyone. It's only rolled out to a select few creators. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. Because for me, I'm like, listen, like, it depends. It like, I don't know. Because for me, I'm like, listen, if you missed the book, come to my website. I put everything on there. So like, I don't know. Like I get like Wall, and also like for like I'm pretty quick on my like delivery. Like after I fund a campaign, I typically have it to people in like 3 months, 3 to 4 months. So I don't know. It doesn't like, because there are a lot of Kickstarters like where you have to wait a year or two. Like I know for Godhood Comics, they literally put like, oh, it's, you know, this is going to take us 2 years to make. So I could like get like why they would use it. But it's just isn't something that would work for me. You got to teach me how to find a colorist. Dude, go on. Go on. Are you not part of the Connecting Facebook Comic Book Writers and Artists group? Guys, okay, let me go on Facebook real quick. If you guys aren't part of this group, I'm going to just like educate you on like the best group in the whole wide world. All right, so this is where I find everyone. This is a group called Connecting Comic Book Writers and Artists. There's 45,000 people in this group. And you just go, I'm looking for a cut like this. Hi there, we're looking for a colorist for our comic book project. And then look, 32 people are like, I can color a comic. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. So it just depends. We are looking for a line artist who can do this. This is where I have found like 90% of the people that I've worked with are in this group. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. See, I just give, man. I just give. So yeah, guys, I think we're gonna end the night. I'm gonna go to bed. Maybe I'll see if my wife wants to watch like Yellowstone or something. Thanks, guys, for everyone who's supported My Sexy Witch Academia so far. We got 2 more backers. Freaking thank you so much. I appreciate that. Guys, comics are fun, and my goal for this year is to keep having fun and showcasing how to be fun. Even though I'm not going to be doing any marketing streams, like today I'm going to show you guys how to do the marketing funnel, or this is how you should build an email campaign. Even though I'm not going to be doing any of that, and like 99% of the shows are now going to be like draw streams, I hope that you're able to see like, oh, he's doing this. I wonder why he's doing that. Maybe you'll go like, oh, that like, hopefully you'll get some ideas by what I'm doing. And maybe you'll go, those ideas are stupid. I don't know. Maybe you'll go, that works for Tyler, not for me. Which is totally fine. See, that's fine. You can do comics your way. So, all right, guys. That group has given me a lot of work for years. It's awesome. Agreed. Peace out, y'all. Thanks so much, Massive Panda, for being here. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. Should we put on like let's see, I used to have like this music thing, but I don't have it anymore. All right. We're done. Da-da-dee. Da-da-dee. Da-da-da. Da-da-dee. Da-da-da. This is the end of the stream. The stream is over. If you missed it, watch it again. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button. Did you have fun? I hope you did. And if you didn't, I'm really sorry. The next one will be better. I promise. Kind of. I can't guarantee. 'Cause I just want to make comic books and tell my favorite stories and have a silly goose time. Dun, 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 dun. And if I can't find the words to rhyme, then I'm just gonna come up with new words. And if you can come up with new words, you probably should be writing fantasy books, which is a genre that I don't really like. It's a genre I don't really like. Unless it's My Sexy Witch Academia or Bullet Assassin or The Girl with the Mega Fist, in which case I like that genre, but I have my own twist. Or it's Skyrim. I need to find a new fantasy video game to play, but I can't find one that gives me the magic like Skyrim. And I tried Elder Scrolls once and I got my ass kicked in the first 5 minutes and I said, fuck that. And everyone says play Baldur's Gate, but I don't want to. Okay, I should probably stop freaking singing now. Everyone, good night. So fucking